Well, today,
Okay.
we're diving into some news about Rihanna's Anti.
Ooh, exciting.
It's 9 years old.
Wow.
And to celebrate, she dropped a little surprise for the fans, a video montage set to Consideration,
No, nice.
featuring SZA.
Cool.
And she even, marked the occasion on social media, just, happy anniversary with a red balloon emoji. Low-key,
Yeah, very Rihanna.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Anti is her last full album.
Right.
And it's still charting.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that casual celebration, it really contrasts with just how impactful Anti has been.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not just talking about a hit album here. This thing spent 2 weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200,
Wow.
and it stayed on the charts for 456 weeks.
That's insane.
Nearly 9 years, almost unheard of.
Crazy. It makes you wonder what Anti did differently. It definitely felt like a departure from her earlier work.
Right, you had these incredible vocals, but it was paired with this more experimental production.
Yeah.
The album blends R&B soul, even hints of dancehall. Creates this really unique soundscape.
I love that description.
It's both raw and polished.
Yeah.
It demands your attention. You can't just passively listen to it.
Totally. Take Kiss It Better, for example.
Okay, yeah.
It's got this driving guitar riff, almost 80s rock.
Yeah.
But then it's layered with these lush vocal harmonies.
Yeah.
And a beat that just
Pulls you in.
Ah.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of how she was willing to kind of blend genres,
yeah.
experiment with different sounds to create something completely new.
It's so true, and it's interesting how a song like that, which is so sonically different from Umbrella,
Yeah.
it still feels distinctly Rihanna.
Right, right.
You can't mistake her voice,
Yeah.
her attitude,
Yeah,
even when she's exploring new sonic territory.
exactly.
It's really impressive.
It is, and that artistic exploration extends to the lyrical content as well. Anti is deeply personal. It tackles themes of vulnerability,
Yeah.
self-discovery, even rebellion, against expectations.
Right.
There's a rawness and honesty in the lyrics.
Definitely.
It resonated with a lot of listeners on a very personal level. It's not just catchy hooks,
Yeah.
It's about sharing real emotions and experiences.
And I think that authenticity is a huge part of why Anti connected with so many people.
Yeah?
It felt like a window into Rihanna's evolution, both as an artist and a person. It was bold, it was confident, and it was undeniably her own. And speaking of boldness,
Yeah.
it's hard to ignore the fact that since Anti dropped, Rihanna has built an empire outside of music.
Absolutely.
With Fenty, her focus has clearly shifted, and she's been incredibly successful. Do you think Anti, in some way, laid the groundwork for that? Was there something in that album, a statement perhaps, that hinted at this entrepreneurial spirit?
That's a great question, and I think the answer lies in the title itself.
Yeah.
Anti.
Okay.
It implies a resistance to conformity.
Yeah.
Rejection of the status quo.
Interesting.
It's about defining your own rules and paving your own path.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what she has done, both musically and in the business world.
Yeah, she hasn't been afraid to take risks
No.
or go against the grain. Look at Fenty Beauty, for example. It launched with 40 foundation shades.
Right.
A level of inclusivity that was unheard of at the time. And it completely disrupted the beauty industry.
For sure. And let's not forget Savage X Fenty,
Yes.
her lingerie line, challenging traditional notions of beauty and sexiness, celebrating body positivity and diversity
Yeah.
in a way that's both empowering and commercially successful.
Yeah, and it's really fascinating how she's translated her creative vision and
Yeah.
her personal values into these successful businesses. And that brings us back to Anti. It wasn't just a hit album, it was a declaration of her creative independence.
Right.
A sign that she was ready to take control and forge her own path.
And it's left fans wondering, if Anti was her taking control, what comes next?
Yeah.
What will it sound like when she returns to music?
That's where it gets really intriguing. We know she's hinted at new music
Yeah.
and even talked about starting over.
Right.
But what does starting over look like for someone who's already achieved so much?
Yeah, it's a question that has fans on the edge of their seats.
I bet.
Think about it. Anti was like this sonic and thematic leap forward.
Yeah.
It had this rawness,
Right.
this vulnerability that felt so personal. She was really letting us into her world in a way she hadn't before. So when she says starting over,
Yeah.
it begs the question, What part of herself is she ready to reveal now?
Right, and sonically, where could she even go from Anti?
Exactly.
That album felt like a culmination of her musical journey up to that point.
Right.
Like touching on so many different styles and influences.
That's what makes this so exciting.
Yeah.
She could go in any number of directions.
Really?
Maybe she leans further into that experimental side we heard on tracks, like, which had this dark, almost industrial sound that was completely unexpected.
Yeah, totally.
Or maybe she taps into the dance hall vibes of Work and creates like a full-blown dance record.
I would love to hear that.
Right.
I remember when Work came out.
Oh, yeah.
It like completely dominated the airwaves. It was such a fresh sound for her. And it really showed off her versatility as an artist.
It's interesting you mentioned Work.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the tracks that sparked a lot of debate
Oh, really?
among critics.
Interesting.
Some felt like it was a departure
Okay.
from her more mature and introspective sound, while others praised it for its like infectious energy
Right.
and global appeal.
I see.
It really highlighted the different expectations people had for her music.
And that ties back into this idea of starting over, doesn't it?
Totally.
Maybe she's not concerned with
Yeah.
meeting those expectations anymore.
Right.
Maybe this new album is about defying categorization, creating something truly unique, something that surprises even her most devoted fans.
That wouldn't be surprising, would it? I mean, throughout her career, she's consistently pushed boundaries and challenged the norms.
True.
She's never been afraid to experiment or to evolve her sound.
It's true.
And let's not forget, she's been through a lot in the past 9 years.
Yeah.
Motherhood, building a business empire,
Right.
navigating global fame. Like, all of these experiences
Mm.
are bound to have shaped her perspective,
Right.
influenced her creativity.
It's like she's lived several lifetimes since Anti,
Yeah,
and now she's bringing all of that wisdom and experience to her music.
exactly.
It's got to be an incredible well of inspiration to draw from.
Absolutely. And that makes this more than just a new album.
Okay.
It's a chance for her to redefine herself once again, to show the world who Rihanna is
Yeah,
at this moment in time.
I like that.
It's almost like a rebirth, a
Mhm.
shedding of the old to make way for the new.
That's a powerful way to put it. And you know, it's not just about the music. Rihanna is a visionary, a master of creating immersive experiences.
Yes.
So I'm equally excited to see how she translates this new era into visuals, fashion, the whole aesthetic package.
That's another layer of intrigue, isn't it? I mean, her visuals have always been so striking,
Yeah.
so bold,
I don't
so
know.
distinctly Rihanna.
Totally.
Think back to the anti-era.
Okay.
The imagery was dark,
hmm
edgy, sophisticated. It perfectly captured the mood
Yeah.
and the message of the album.
And who can forget the iconic Work video?
Oh, right.
The contrast between the two settings, the brightly lit diner.
Yeah.
And then the hazy, intimate dance hall
Yeah.
created this like amazing visual duality,
Yes.
mirrored the song's energy.
Exactly. She's a master of storytelling through visuals.
Absolutely.
And knowing how much she's evolved as an artist
Mhm.
and as a person, I can only imagine how innovative and captivating her new visuals will be.
It's almost too much to handle.
I know, right?
The anticipation is real. I just hope we don't have to wait another 9 years to experience it.
I think we're all hoping for that. But even without a set release date, the fact that she's acknowledging Anti's anniversary
Yeah.
and teasing new music
Yeah.
tells us one thing for sure. She's still deeply connected to her music and her fans.
It's true. And she's still pushing boundaries. Think about it. Anti was released at a time when streaming was just starting to dominate the music industry.
Right.
Now, 9 years later, it's the primary way people consume music.
And it's amazing how Anti has endured through these shifts
Yeah.
in the music landscape.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the album's staying power and the depth of its connection with listeners.
So how does this record, released at the dawn of like a new era in music, how does that inform her approach now that streaming is the norm?
Right.
It makes you wonder what she's learned
Yeah.
and how that will impact her creative choices.
That's a great point. It's like she had a front row seat to the digital revolution in music, and now she's ready to leverage that experience to create something even more impactful and innovative.
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. So we've talked about the evolution of Rihanna's sound,
Yeah.
her business ventures, her visual storytelling, and the lasting impact of Anti. But there's one question that lingers in my mind. Knowing how much she values creative control,
Yeah.
how might Rihanna approach releasing music in an era of like short attention spans and constant content overload? Will she stick to the traditional album format or experiment with something new?
That's a really good question. You know, it's fascinating how Anti itself was initially released as a Tidal exclusive.
Right.
It was a bold move
Yeah.
at the time. A way to disrupt traditional distribution models.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if she'll leverage that kind of innovative thinking again.
Maybe she'll release music in smaller, more frequent drops.
Right.
Keep fans engaged with a steady stream of new content.
Yeah.
Or perhaps she'll create an immersive digital experience that goes beyond just listening to the music.
She could even take inspiration from her business ventures.
Yeah.
Incorporate elements of community and interaction.
Interesting.
Like imagine if she created a digital platform
Okay.
where fans could connect, share their interpretations of the music, and even contribute to the creative process in some way.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be like blurring the lines between artist and audience, creating a truly collaborative experience.
Exactly.
It would definitely be a way to stand out in a crowded digital landscape. And it aligns perfectly with the themes of empowerment and creative ownership
Totally.
that we've been talking about.
It wouldn't just be about releasing music.
Yeah.
It would be about building a world around that music.
Mhm.
A community where fans feel connected to the artist and to each other.
It's really exciting to think about the possibilities. So to wrap this up, it seems like Anti's anniversary is more than just a nostalgic trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
It's a moment to reflect on Rihanna's incredible journey, to celebrate her creative fearlessness, and to anticipate what she'll do next.
It's a reminder that she's an artist who constantly evolves,
Right.
pushes boundaries, and who never fails to surprise us.
Totally.
And in a world that's constantly changing, that kind of adaptability and innovation is more valuable than ever.
Absolutely. So there you have it, a deep dive into Rihanna's Anti, her evolution as an artist and a businesswoman, and the tantalizing possibilities that lie ahead.
Yeah,
We've covered a lot of ground,
we have.
from the album's sonic and thematic depth to her groundbreaking business ventures, and the potential for even more innovation in her future music releases.
It's been a fascinating exploration
It really has.
of an artist who continues to captivate and inspire.
What are your thoughts? What has stood out to you in this deep dive?
For me, it's the through line of creative control. Whether it's her music, her businesses, or even the way she interacts with her fans,
Yeah.
Rihanna's clearly in the driver's seat. And that sense of agency, that refusal to conform, is what makes her such a compelling figure.
I completely agree. It's a powerful message, and it's something that resonates deeply with her audience. And with that, we'll leave you with this final thought. Anti was a watershed moment in Rihanna's career, a declaration of independence and a testament to her artistic vision. Now, as she prepares to return to music, we can't help but wonder what new heights she'll reach. What kind of world will she create? What stories will she tell? And how will she continue to redefine what it means to be an artist in the 21st century? Keep those questions in mind and your ears open, because when Rihanna returns, you won't want to miss it.